Hey guys, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic 4. Last time we completed the third of the original Heroes 4 campaigns, and today we start this one here, Elvin and Shara.
Despite Elwin's reputation as a scamp, I felt drawn to his bold spirit. Not even Elwin knew his true potential. I saw it, though, when we were lost in the forest with all sorts of bandits and creatures around us. He was probably more afraid than he had ever been in his life. He seemed more concerned with my mood. He kept trying to make me laugh. I always loved him for that.
So, the lovers, huh? It is love at first sight when Elwin and Shara meet, but there is another who loves Shara, and he will stop at nothing to have her. Thus begins a tragic love story that thrusts the elven nation of Aranorn into civil war and threatens to destroy all that the elves have rebuilt since the Reckoning. A diplomatic mission along the coast of the Gold Sea turns tragic when pirates attack. Elwin and Shara barely escape the mayhem, but soon realize they are lost in this wild part of Aranorn. It is up to Elwin to get them home again, but the courtly elf must first learn to survive in the wild and lead soldiers into battle if they are ever going to make it safely through this wild and dangerous region. Victory condition: find Shara's father, Graman. Loss condition: lose the Elwin hero. Okay. Elwin and all of his skills, spells, and experience will carry over. All of your heroes have a max level of 15. Got it. Luckily, that night I dressed in a brand new ensemble. My shirt and trousers were purple silk, accented with white lace. I wore a wide-brimmed hat adorned with peacock feathers and a belt of golden discs. My knee-high boots were made of snow rabbit fur. I had spent most of my money on the outfit, and I think fate made me wear it, because that was the first time I set eyes on Shara. Ever since the day she entered the Elven court, everyone claimed she was the most beautiful woman in all of Aranorn. Now I had heard that title thrown around many times before, and in a court filled with countless beautiful women, I never understood what made one stand out from another. But Shara was different. Her waist-length hair glimmered like rays of golden light poking through the treetops. Her large eyes, the color of a clear winter sky, dominated her slender face, and they were capable of piercing your soul. I danced with her for more than 2 hours that night, and soon I heard that Shara wasn't just a beauty. I've danced with lovely women in the past, but abandoned them when I found their personalities about as interesting as a rotting log. Shara was different. She was quiet but intelligent, and I got the sense that she longed for something but didn't know what, just as I have my entire life. That's when I asked her, "What do you do? I mean, when you're not capturing the hearts of every man in the room?" Shara looked deep into my eyes as if seeing me for the first time and smiled at me. That's when I fell in love. Oh my god! Shara is the kind of woman that makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. She can make a lazy man athletic and a greedy man a philanthropist. She inspired me to draw on a few favors so I could be named one of the druid advisors for a diplomatic journey along the coast of Aranorn. I didn't exactly enjoy traveling through the wilderness, and I liked sea travel even less, but this was my chance to steal a few moments with Shara without the prying eyes of the Elven court watching us. The only person I had to worry about was her father, Graman. Graman was the leader of this expedition. He was supposed to visit the port towns to solidify their relationship with Aranorn and hopefully bring them completely under loose authority of this new elven nation. I soon found out that Graman had tried to block my appointment to this mission. Why? I didn't know. Luckily, he was unable to sway the vote. I have a feeling that Menethat, my mentor and strongest supporter, had something to do with it. It was nice to have a member of the Elder Council as a good friend. And if I had known Graman would be so vigilant in keeping his daughter away from me, I might not have bothered. We were on our 8th day of travel when Shara and I finally managed to sneak up onto one of the masts to talk and stare at the stars. Above, in the crow's nest, we could hear the soft snoring of the watchman. I had slipped him a sleeping draught earlier so Shara and I could be alone. If you ask me, It was about time my druid training came in handy. I impressed Shara with my knowledge of the heavens, naming every star she pointed out. "Let me show you my favorite ones," I said. She rested her head against my arm to stare along its path as I pointed to the eastern horizon, but all I could think about was the beautiful smell wafting up from her hair. I closed my eyes, knowing that I would remember that scent forever. "There," I said, just above the skyline. "See the blue one next to the red star, almost touching? They blink in time together. Those are the lovers." "And why do you show me those stars, Elvin?" Shara said, toying with me. Before I could answer, though, a shadow passed across the lovers. I tensed as I followed the shadows down to a larger darkness floating across the sea. It was a ship, and it was approaching us too quickly to be any mistake. The pirates attacked so quickly that most of the crew was still below deck when the rogues swung across on ropes to our ship. I don't remember much except the screaming and clanking of metal on metal. There were fires everywhere, smoke burned the eyes, and people everywhere were dying. It was horrible. All I could think about was getting Shara to safety. We made it to one of the dinghies, and thanks to the battle being fought on the two ships, I cut it free and escaped into the darkness unnoticed. We watched from a distance as both ships burned. Shara cried on my shoulder, for she did not know her father's fate. Okay. So I'm a level 1 druid, am I? Sure. What is this hut? Ah, yes, movement. Sure. Skeletons, I guess. Oh boy. Summon wolf! Don't mind if I yes. And summon another wolf. Oh, they just double up my wolves, huh? That's kind of cool. Interesting. Hey, look, wolves. You hear a painful yowling coming from somewhere off the path, and for a moment you consider heading in the other direction. You've heard plenty of bard's tales, and people always die while investigating strange sounds, but you can't stand the moaning any longer, so you creep quietly from tree to tree. You must be close, but you can't see anything. Could it be some forest spirit? You've heard the stories about them, too, and they're never pleasant. Then you nearly put your foot in it, a pit, that is. You drop to your knees and stare into the steep hole. At the bottom is a small wolf pup, clawing pitifully at the sides of the trap as it howls for help. It seems to be favoring one of its hind legs as well, most likely injured during its fall. "Hold on, little guy," you say as you search for a branch or a log, some way to get the pup out. Of course, you find nothing large enough to help, so you circle the pit a couple times, studying it closely. It's probably only a few inches shy of 7 feet deep. Even a grown wolf couldn't climb out of that. But for once in your life, your tall, thin body is good for something. You take out your dagger and stab it firmly in the ground at the edge of the pit so you can use it as leverage when you have to climb out. And then you jump in right next to the pup. The small wolf barks and growls as you reach for it. It even snaps at your hand, ripping off a bit of flesh. "Ow! I'm just trying to help you." I'm just trying to help, you say. But you sense that the creature is more frightened than it has ever been in its life. There isn't going to be any easy way to do this, so you quickly snatch up the wolf pup. You lift it toward the top of the pit, wincing as it scratches and nips at your arms. Finally, the pup realizes where it is and leaps to the forest floor. You hear it scurry away. "You're welcome," you say. Your hands and forearms now look like you rubbed thorns across them, and the sleeves of your silk tunic are ruined. This was the thanks you got. It takes little effort for you to lift yourself out of the pit, but as you reclaim your dagger, you realize you are not alone. As silent as a whisper, a pack of wolves surround you. You stammer. "I didn't dig this hole, honest." You remain still, afraid the wrong move will get you killed. Even when a large black female steps from the pack, you don't budge. She nervously presses her wet muzzle into your palm, sniffs, nudges, and then licks your hand. Her tail begins to wag happily. It seems you've made a few friends. Yeah! 15 of them! Good job. Summon Sprite. Alright. If I must. I guess. You pause to wash off some of the grime collected during your hike, quickly realizing that you will never be properly clean until you return to the Elvin court. A hot bath is what you need, but you wash your face and hands and you're about to take a bath when you notice some tiny faces hiding in the bushes at the edge of the pool. Hey, you! Come out of there! Even before you see them, you recognize the giggles of a sprite. What were you doing, you ask? Watching, says one. Yeah, we were wondering if you were two elves in one, says another. Uh-huh. You're so tall, I bet you got another person in there under your pretty clothes. You know from experience that if given the freedom, a sprite will talk all day, so you interrupt. No, it's just me, you say. My name is Elvin. I'm a druid of the Elvin court, and I seem to be lost. Maybe you can help. You're a druid, says one. You don't look like a druid. No, he looks like a funny, tall, singing minstrel man. A tall, skinny, colorful tree, yes. What kind of tree is he? You raise your hands again, sighing because even sprites are joking about your size. Can you help me, you ask? Think about it. If you join me, you can make jokes about me all day long. The sprites fly in circles over the pool, giggling and hooting with pleasure. Then one of them waves at you. Sounds like fun. Follow us to our home. We want to tell the others too, she says. Oh, yay, sprites. I'm so happy for that one. Ever since we washed up on shore, Shara has been somber and quiet. I've been more concerned with getting us to safety than anything else, but I can no longer look upon her worried expression. Her face simply wasn't meant to hold lines of sorrow. So this morning I scrounged up some apples, and at noon we stopped to rest near a trickling stream. Have a seat, my lady, I said, unfurling my purple cloak and placing it on the damp ground. It was already ruined. What did it matter if it got a little dirty? Shara nodded and sat. She watched the clear water flow around a glistening stone. Meanwhile, I dug the apples from my pouch and proceeded to juggle them. Now, my fair lady, 3 of these apples are likely the juiciest, sweetest morsels you've ever tasted, I said. And what of the 4th? She asked, reluctantly playing my game. Why, that one is magical, although just as tasty as the others. She who bites into it will instantly fall in love with the first person she sees. The corners of Shara's mouth turned slightly upward. She said, then perhaps I shouldn't eat. I wouldn't want to take the risk of falling in love with the wrong person, would I? Oh no, you must eat. Besides, I happen to know that this type of magic apple doesn't work if the imbiber already loves another. I caught each apple behind my back with a flourish, and then I presented one to Shara. She took it, and without hesitation bit into the red fruit. Some juice collected on her full lips. Now, I've never had reason to want to be an apple before, but that day I would have given my legs to be one. Don't you want to know which apple I gave you? I asked. No, she said. It matters not which I ate. All my attempts to cheer Shara up have only lasted for a few fleeting moments. It disturbs me when she is unhappy, but I can't blame her. She must be thinking about her father, about that night when we barely escaped the pirates ourselves. What of her father? Was he dead? Were they all dead? I have been thinking the same thing, especially since it was I who slipped the watchman a sleeping draught. If the man had been awake, he might have noticed the pirate ship in time for Grammon and the others to prepare a proper defense. I have really messed up this time. You're thinking about your father, aren't you? I asked during one of our quiet moments. She nodded. We don't know what happened, Shara. He could still be alive. From what I hear, he's a resourceful warrior. I can't help thinking that maybe we should have stayed behind. Maybe we could have helped, she said. What could we do, Shara? Neither of us is a warrior. My words were too harsh, too certain. They didn't help. Shara didn't want to hear how hopeless our situation had been. She wanted to hear that her father was alive, that she hadn't abandoned him in his time of need. I took her in my arms, stroked her hair with my hand. Your father is well, Shara. I can feel it. Those were just pirates. No mere thug can outmatch Aranorn's trained warriors, right? I said. Well, yes, but... right. And I think it is no secret that your father loves you more than anything. Would he not have preferred that you were safe? Of course. So he did what we would. what he would have wanted us to do. Now we have to figure out how to find him again. He could be anywhere, Elvin. He's probably looking for me now, if he survived, that is. Yes, but when he doesn't find you, he'll know there is one place that you will certainly go, the place we were supposed to travel to in the first place. I hoped there wasn't any fault in my logic. If I were Grammon, I would hope that my daughter would make her way to the nearest safe town. It would take too long to hike all the way back home, so why not a known safe port? Dolphin Jump, Shara asked. Yes, I said. I say we make our way to Dolphin Jump as soon as we can. I'm certain we'll find your father waiting for us there. Wand of Fire. What does the Wand of Fire do? Begins each combat with 4 spell points and regenerates 2 spell points. Oh, cast the Firebolt spell. Sweet. Now I finally have a weapon. Okay. Oh wait, there's a crystal thing. Crystal thing. Damn you. Well, my army's filled up now, isn't it? Let them run, of course. A mage's robe. Now we're starting to look more like a druid. And a town to take. Come out and face me. Don't you want to? Of course you do. Wait, what? Where's the combat spells, damn you? Where? Wand of Fire. Hello. Keep it going. There we go. Whoops. Well, that's a problem. Now, isn't it? How dare you? Kill the wolves. There we go. Okay. I've captured Dandelion. I had not known there were small elven communities this far from central Aranorn. I guess my people had spread out further than I thought after the reckoning. I have found the people of Dandelion pleasant but paranoid. They fear just about everyone, and understandably so. They have been under constant attack from pirates and other bandits for years now. Every day is a struggle for these people, especially since they lack any sort of army or leadership. Choosing to live so far from other elves wasn't their only mistake. Unfortunately, they have also chosen me to lead them simply because I mentioned that I am a member of the Elven Court. Now they're asking me to deal with the criminals in the region. If I didn't need their help to get Shara to safety, I would sneak off in the middle of the night. Just about anyone would be better suited to lead. I would be doing them a favor by running away, but I had Shara to think about now. Shara. Ah, yes, the old elven town. Prison cells. Alright. Ooh, tigers or elves? Of course we're gonna go with the elves, so we need the Rangers Guild. We may buy a bow. Sure. Stone skin. Let the wolves run. Your pit is mine. Oh my. Alright, we finally have an army, somewhat, at a town. You stare into the magical blah 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 and see things and stuff. Okay. You dare wish to fight me? Don't kill my elves. Or my wolves. Ta-da! Thank you. Unfortunately, you have no room. Well, then I'll make room, because these are worthless. I will take the elves. I want another army of archers like I had before.